So, some of you may or may not be in a relationship, and if you are, you might be at a point in your relationship where you're thinking about living together, even though you're not married. And some of you may not even be at that point if you are with that person, which either way is fine. Um, but one day it will come, and it's going to be a big deal, and it should really be thought about. So, you should definitely have all your facts before you even consider doing it. There's a lot of debate on whether or not a couple should live together before marriage, whether it's because of religion or what I like to call old school tradition, or that's really all that I can think of. I have lived with my boyfriend, whom is now my husband, for since I was 19, and I'm almost 26, so about 7-ish years. And we're married now, but we've been together for a long time, 10 years, and so marriage was always in the cards for us. So we're always the exception to the rule for most cases. But my family questioned, even though we were together for so long, my family always questioned me on whether or not I should move in with him. They were like, Sheridan, I really don't think it's a good idea. And, pregnancy was always on the table, and it was always a concern for my family. But I never regretted it, because I felt that we were stronger after, like, for living together before we got married, because I really got to know the person that he was. According to the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, 60% of marriages are now preceded by cohabitation. I believe that living together is a good idea. I believe that it's a good idea because not only you'll end up having a more successful, fruitful, and happy marriage. Living together first will give you the opportunity to get to know the other person, all their faults and habits, as well as what they usually do in a household, like chores, because that's very important when it comes to relationship, because now most relationships are 50-50. We're both going to do things around the house as well as make the money to have this house. And before, it was really just the woman that was the house runner, and now it's not like that so much. I believe it lessens the divorce rate, because let's think of it. If you live with someone before you're married and you figure out all these things about them, their faults, their good things, and you decide that you don't want to be with this person, well, then you can just leave that person. And I'm not saying it's any easier, but it's a lot less expensive. And it doesn't have to go through the court system and be like this long drawn out thing. And not only that, if you have kids, that gets way more dicey. Don't get me wrong, many people have kids before they're married or out of wedlock, and there's nothing wrong with that. That happens. But majority of people do not have kids before marriage. Regardless of what the reason is, but it could be because of their lack of interest in even having children, their religious beliefs. Also, the benefits of living together first, I believe, outweigh the non-benefits. The number one reason people cohabitate before is a positive. They want to spend more time with the person that they're dating, according to Psychology Today. Many people these days, they devote a lot of their time to their careers. So between their careers, they're always busy, and they have like these crazy hours. The only time that you can see somebody is when you come home. So living together makes sense. Some people are in a financial rut, if you will, and if you're over your significant other's house constantly, and you're going back and forth, not only are you wasting gas, but your time, and you're paying for another home that you're barely at, it just makes sense to just live together as opposed to living apart. Studies show that 40% of cohabitating couples do marry within the first 3 years of marriage. This, I believe, is a true fact. A number of my friends that have gotten engaged or married, they have lived together before that, and they got married within that married or engaged within that 3-year time span. And they're still together now, and everything's great. And they always tell me, like, Sheridan, I definitely would never not live with my significant other beforehand, because you really get to know the person. So there's many benefits to living together, and I just think that it is a great idea in the long run, because you really get to know that person. And not only that, but it will lead to a successful marriage by lessening the divorce rate and really getting to know the person that you're with. People say that you really don't know someone until you live with them.